Okay, let me see if you can see me. Loading the video. Yeah, you should be able to see me. Okay, good. All right, good. Okay, sorry about that. I just needed a second off screen to figure out what's going on. Okay, so we've got our game again here. In a minute, I'm going to add a reset key as well so we can kind of see this again. I probably want to make this ball move faster. I added a thing to make it when it gets to the left side to, of course, reflect regardless of whether we've hit the little Pong thing. Okay, the little paddle. So let's go ahead and fix that. And we'll do stuff like score and things like that, and then we'll be done, which will be good considering how painful that was. Okay, so let's make the ball go a little faster. Where did I put the ball? The ball speed. I'll put the ball in here. The bug was that I was checking the first time that I went to load the DLL, the DLL handle was null, and I just took that check out entirely for the time being. That was just wrong, and there's something still wrong in that logic, so I'm not going to worry too much about it at the moment. Let's go ahead and reinitialize. And I'm going to actually go ahead and while we're here on the stream, I'm going to go ahead and add a reset thing. Game, let's see, what is that? What did I call it? Game platform, I guess. Yeah. Let's go ahead and add a reset key just for development purposes. And what are we going to call that? Yeah, let's go to, we'll actually have to restart the game for this. Let's just go ahead and put that on the R key. We don't want that. We want basically this same code. And let's go with reset. Good. I am stood up. XLTTTY. I normally code walking, and actually maybe that's why I'm having bugs. I'm not walking. Yeah, if I normally, let's say, if just pressed, normally I walk. I know that's kind of unusual, but I have a treadmill desk here. I will show you guys that in a minute. All right, so if we just pressed game data, input, reset, then let's say it was not initialized, if that happens. Okay, good. Game input to key. Oh yeah, that's not right. Let's see, we need game keys. Keys, game input keys. Yeah, that's not right, obviously. Okay, let's just go ahead and quickly, since I added a thing, added a new key. If that was just pressed. Oh God, I hate my life. That is not good. Just press doesn't look right. So let's just do just released. That I use all the time. There's a Y here. That's not working either. God, I hate my life. Did I not put it on the R key? Not there. Wow, normally this goes a lot faster. Okay, reset is down. Is it a key down? Key. Okay. Garbage. Right, you're garbage. Yeah, that should totally work. That's wonderful. All kinds of things that are apparently not working on my Windows version of the platform. So we'll come back to all that later. Let's just do the game. All right, so the last thing I had to do was to actually have the thing go. 6th plebeian. Thanks, 6th plebeian. I am going to get more people going for that. All right, so we need to reflect only if we're inside the paddle. So if game state left player position Y, we kind of actually do at this point need to know how big these things are. Let me just go ahead and steal that thing, hoist it up into the global state, because who cares? All right. So, if basically the top of the thing is less than and we're going to go ahead and say if the thing is within the paddle, then we do this. We reflect it only if it's it's inside the paddle's extents. Oops, let's go ahead and control this thing. I should increase the speed a little bit more. It's definitely too slow. Good. So we reflected. Now let's make sure that it will also not reflect. We'll do that in a second. All right, and care about the right player position here. Should go off the. Oh. Yeah, went forever. Good, good, good. Okay. All right. So now we've got basically how the thing should work. I don't know why the R key isn't working. It should just work. If we just, so if the thing was down, thing is down and wasn't down, then the key was pressed. That is about as simple as code gets. Maybe I just don't have, maybe I haven't, oh, that's why. There we go. It's because I hadn't relaunched the game. I built the game while it was, so I couldn't actually write the executable because it was in memory. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we actually have most of what Pong is. Probably could make the ball a little faster and need to restrict the paddles from going off the edge. Probably move in a little bit from where the thing bounces, but that is most of it. That is most of this game. Let's go ahead. Let's do a couple things. Let's, first of all, speed up the ball. Much better. Already more challenging. Because I suck. It's hard to actually play Pong against yourself. There we go. And let's see, where does it go? Where's it go? Where's it going to go? Oh, all right. Good. And I quit the game because I suck. All right, there we go. All right, so that'll just kind of do what it does. Every now and again, we'll go and take a look. What us? I'm currently on Windows 32. Solid Mojo, that is a great username. But the reason why I use Emacs is actually so it'll run on both. It is Windows 7. This is all kind of Win32 or actually Win64 code. All right, let's see. What do I want to do next? I guess what we'll do is we kind of have our sort of main play loop working. Let's start building in some more interesting stuff, shall we? Let's go. Let's do one more thing, which is going to be start. Okay, let's go to the platform. I'm going to have to restart this thing. We'll go ahead and add a start key. That'll just be the space bar. Game input. case STL scan code. I'm sure that's spacebar or space. Undo start. And of course it could build it, so let's go ahead and build it. Yes. So now we should have a space. It looks like it liked that, so that's good. Let's go and start it again, so we've got it running. And let's go back over to game and do that. Let's see, what do we want to do? So what we want to do now is basically have sort of an idea of what state the game is actually in. Why did I leave Bethesda? You know, the fastest thing to do is direct you to my blog. I'll give you a link, which I'll paste in there, because it's kind of a bit long to go into. I guess I could talk through it. Basically, for the last 15 years of my last 15 years of my career, I've been leading teams, and when you start doing that, you end up not spending a lot of time doing any kind of coding, and I kind of missed it. And I had a point in there where I was let's do that, and I had a game over state too. So for all that time, I kind of was leading teams, and when it was a team of like 4 or 5 programmers, like on Jedi Starfighter, that was not a big deal. Even on a team of as many as 13 or so that I had on Republic Commando, I still got to code every day, and that was just not the case while I was working at Bethesda, because I ended up having as many as 25 people working for me, and with as complicated a game as Bethesda makes, that meant a lot of time for me just working with people to try to make sure everything was moving along. Okay, I forgot something. I forgot a semicolon. Indeed, you are right, compiler. So I really felt like it was time to move on so I could do that. I work in the medical field, says Cubicool, writing visualization software using OpenGL. Salaries here in Atlanta are 100K-ish. Does the game development industry compete anywhere near that for senior devs? I will not answer what my exact salary was. I just will say I was extremely happy and took a couple of trips to Europe while I was at Bethesda. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and if we have a play state, let's go game state. Going to initialize this data. Waiting. Not waiting for start. Play state equals waiting for start. And we're going to actually change what we do here. Let's go ahead and take all of this code and do a function that does that, just to kind of clear up my main loop. Let's see, there we go. And then let's switch off the game state. We'll add some score. Normally, I think these will go a little bit quicker. I had a lot of issues. Do I think that having that kind of background would help me at all? And a portfolio of game development libraries. Well, the libraries are certainly probably more useful to you than sort of your base job, Cubicool. Although if you've been doing OpenGL stuff, you probably can definitely find some work in terms of rendering, depending on how kind of up to date you are. The OpenGL stuff that I'm doing here obviously is super trivial. Draw a few stuff, a few polygons. It was like totally brain dead. All right, we're going to go ahead and wait for start. And what is the other one? Game over. We'll go ahead and do score in a minute. Game over. All right. Go ahead and put that in. And what have I got here? Game data. Game data. Oh, let's go ahead and pass that through then. It's not called game data. What do I call it? Game platform. It is called game update render data. There we go. Good. And we're not actually calling play yet. If we're in play, we want to go ahead and pass the game data in the game state. What do we got here? How did I get to where I am now? Where I start in the game development industry, do I need certain degrees? Okay, last question first. You don't necessarily need the degree. It is probably somewhat easier. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and just released. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't have I didn't have an undergraduate. I ended up getting a master's degree in computer science, and it definitely helped me get in. That was in 1998, and so that's been a bit of a while. What do we call this? Start. And for now, we'll just say game state, play state equals play, except it's playing. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and reset that thing. Oh, nothing good happened. Oh, it's waiting for me to hit the button. And the button is not happening. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, good. So we're starting to get a whole game here. Almost there. Okay, so let me stop coding for a second to finish answering those questions. So I will say that most employers probably look for a degree, and so it will help you to have it. Do you need it? I don't know. It depends. I mean, if you can demonstrate, you've got games and things, you've got source code that you can share, that's kind of more important, but it may take you longer. Hard to say how much. I will say that the best programmer I've ever worked with was self-taught, didn't go to college, only had a high school degree, and he is amazing. And he just spent a huge amount of time really thinking about computer science. This is the kind of guy who has old journal papers in his bathroom so he can read them while he's otherwise engaged. Anyway, so you don't necessarily need a degree. I started at LucasArts in 1998, the very beginning of the year. My start date was like the 3rd of January. And let's just, I don't know, we'll do something here later. Let's go ahead and do a, what do we want to do? We want to do some kind of yeah screen. Okay. So yeah, I started. I'm sorry, I'm so brain dead. I started at LucasArts in 1998. What was the other thing? How did I get to where I was now? Well, having gotten my degree, my master's degree, I went and applied to LucasArts. I cold called Tim Schafer. He doesn't like me to say anymore to cold call Tim Schafer if you're looking for a job in the industry, so don't do that anymore. Make a demo. I cold called him, and he was kind enough to set up some interviews after we had lunch. So we had some lunch, came back and interviewed, and ultimately got a job offer. I worked for LucasArts for 7 years. I came to Maryland and consulted and worked with a small studio in north of Baltimore. And yeah, that was like a few years, and then I went to Bethesda, who were finishing up Fallout 3, and then I became a lead. I mean, I was hired to lead stuff on Skyrim, and then I was leading the whole engineering team on the next thing that they haven't announced. So yeah, that's kind of how I got going. What do I got here? So let's see. I guess the only things we need now. Let's see. Waiting for start. Game over. Let's just do reset game. And we'll pass the game state in there. I don't know what we're going to do there. And yeah, we'll come back to that. We're going to reset the game. Actually, when you go... let's see. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I got to think about that. I got to think about what we want to do there. Okay, is a game development process really stressful? It is stressful to a degree. Let's see, what am I going to want to add? Let me think about what I'm going to add. Think about the next thing we're going to add. Let's do a score, left score, and right score. We'll do some drawing of the score. It's kind of cool. And I'm going to use some stuff for that. We will see what I'm going to do. Or I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, it can be very stressful. It's particularly stressful when you get to the end of a project. Early on, it's kind of not so bad, but if you've just shipped a game, you're kind of in the mode of shipping, which is like this highly frenetic, knowing what you need to do next kind of period. So it is actually still kind of stressful to, let's make this, it is still pretty stressful, even when you're not in the midst of shipping, believe it or not. I've always had kind of a weird, postpartum depressions after I ship a game, and when I just don't know what to do myself. I'm just completely worthless. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to basically just, oops. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and create some numbers here that we can draw on the screen, like rectangles. Do I have the complete code structure of a large project in my head when working on it? Asks Chachma. I actually used to do more top-down development than I do now. I found that as a person who was leading a team, it was kind of valuable for me to have all the answers. That's what kind of people look to you for. So I would say I more tried to have a complete idea of what the structure of a game was when I was starting out and when I was leading teams. These days, I kind of explore my way through my code. That's not what I want. I kind of find my way to the code that I want, and then I kind of pretty it up afterwards. I really recommend Casey Muratori's really great podcast, videocast, stream, whatever, where he kind of showing how he thinks about game development. Really great stuff. Totally recommended. He is really kind of an interesting fellow. He worked at Rad Game Tools doing stuff like not Bink, but Granny, which had a pretty decent interface, I'm given to understand. He kind of designed that API. So what am I doing now as a job? Okay, high-level concepts like templates. Let me get to the other Chachma question here. Are high-level concepts like templates and metaprogramming or unit tests used extensively in game development? Some people use them, for sure. I am not a big proponent of any of that stuff. I have found some value in template metaprogramming and things like that. Mostly, I these days think it is not worth the headache. It adds to compile times. which are kind of like the biggest thing for me in terms of productivity. And so I really hate, I really despise spending a lot of time waiting for the compiler. I mean, you can see like here my compile time is essentially 0. So it's, I just don't like the idea of waiting. You're probably all wondering what I'm doing here if you haven't figured it out already. I'm programming out sort of grids for each number if you were to print them in pixels, which is kind of a tedious thing to do, but it's a good thing to answer questions during too. Oh, compiler developer, nice, Jason. What am I doing now as a job? I am independent. I actually helped teach a course this semester at Wabash in Indiana, a game design course. So that was kind of a way to bring in a little cash this semester. Last year I helped a friend ship his game 60-Second Shooter Prime on the Xbox One, which was kind of cool. It was fun to get to work on new console like that. That was kind of neat. I basically did most of the programming on that project, and then he did a few things. Okay, let's see, numbers. Let's make that, let's see if this will work. I might have to cast these things, and if I do, I'll see. Nope, like that. Okay, good. All right. Is creativity more important? Yeah. So I'm independent. I'm working on a game, but it's so ugly these days. I don't really want to show it. It's a very deep simulation game, and so I'm kind of not. I'm really just kind of avoid talking about it at this point or showing it really. Is creativity more important for a game developer than logical stuff like design patterns? I think design patterns probably have their place. I haven't really thought about them in a long time. I'm not a huge fan anymore. Okay, I'm going to add a draw score. Alright, so that should error. And let's do draw score. Okay, what else we got? Really, please make the... yeah, I mean, really what you're doing as a programmer is you're trying to solve problems. If design patterns help you solve problems faster or better, use them. If not, don't use them. But it's a very creative thing. Let's see. Does the salary of a game developer reflect the amount of dedication you put into the projects you do? Yeah, absolutely. I would say that to a large degree, outside compensation, outside of your salary, will largely be driven by that, and the way that you're promoted will definitely have something to do with that. The advice I always give people is you should always do the best possible job you can at the thing you're doing right now. All right, so let's do. Let's see. I'm gonna actually segment this out a couple different ways. Draw number at position. I32. Let's do point position. Point dimensions. Dims and I32 num. I32 digit. I'm going to call it digit. Digit at position. What else we got here? I will be contracting graphic artists at some point. I'm a ways away. Is there any large-scale explorative development involved in modern game programming? Is the code design mostly fixed at the beginning and then implemented? Whoa, wow, I'm sure there is. A lot of people are using engines, so typically that means the stuff is already all those kind of big decisions are made for you. Often code kind of exists and has been iterated upon for a long period of time. So yeah, it's kind of often you're not making choices from the ground up. Last time I wrote an engine from scratch was on Starfighter, so that's going back a ways. That was my first gig. Although we did do that as well for Full Throttle 2. All right, so we're going to draw a digit, add a position. Number map equals, let's see, numbers, no, I want numbers, digit, we'll go ahead and put an assert in here, digit, this is equal to 9, just going to go ahead and throw that in there. Okay. Y is less than 5. And then inside this I'm going to do Lutima asks, can a developer of business software become a good game developer? Is the mindset and process too different? Of course you can. I mean, you gotta be flexible, but yeah, absolutely. I would not, yeah. All right, let's see if number map, let's say y times 3 plus x is equal to 1. We're going to draw something there, and then we are going to increment our yeah, we're going to do this. All right. Starting x, position. Okay, good. Position.x, starting.x. So the start of this loop is equal to starting x. So here what I'm doing is I'm basically using a map to say where I should draw squares. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I should probably add a color, but I don't really care. Now that you're independent, asks Demlar, are you going to have a game engine of your own? Most likely yes, but will you continue one engine or make an engine per game, per se? You know what? I'm only really thinking about the first game. I have some shared code, which I discovered was broken in some interesting ways tonight. But yeah, my plan is to actually kind of take some of the code forward, but most of the code I write, I'm not going to want to do that too. All right, let's do draw rectangle at position with dimensions and color. And then else. Actually, there is no else. We're just drawing or not, and no matter what, we're going to increase like that. And down here, position.y plus equals things.y. All right, let's try that. I'm going to go ahead and quickly build that. Doesn't like that. Oops, one too many F's. Okay, good. Yeah, so I mean, I hope I'll reuse some code. It's kind of a pain to do that again and again, rewrite code over and over and over again. But I'm kind of developing code as I need it, and most of that code right now is game code. So who can really say? All right, I'm going to just quickly, just to make sure that this works, draw. Oops. Oops. Let's draw a digit at position. Let's get a position, temp pause. Let's go ahead and put that at 500x and say 40y. Point temp dims. I just want to make sure that this thing sort of works. Let's say that they are 20 by 20 pixels. And let's draw at temp pause, temp dims, let's say the number 7. Good. There is a nice big number. Probably won't make them quite so big. Good. Now we can draw our score. Let's take that out. Okay, what else we got? You have a language that we say is the most beneficial in programming, such as C++ or C#. I don't think any particular language is necessarily beneficial. I've used C++ my whole life. I'm going to have to end this in 15 minutes regardless by now. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think any particular language is the be-all, end-all. I prefer C and C++. My C++ is very C-like these days, pretty minimal. And let's say if game state, let's just go, well, actually, let's just make our game to 9. If, let's draw digit at position, game state. I'm going to actually move all these numbers up out of the way, because they're kind of harsh and mellow here. Let's put them up here. Okay, good. Now I can see it. Good. All right, let's draw game state, left score. We'll need a place to put that. Let's make that at 400 and 50 point right equals 400, so 780, 50, no, 74880. And let's draw the things. Point dimensions equals 15, 15. We kind of like that. And we'll draw the left score at left with dims. Except it's left and then left score. What sort of technical work impresses you in a portfolio when hiring graduate programmers? Well, it depends on what the position is, obviously. I'm mostly looking, when I was hiring, I was looking for smart people who can solve stuff, and that really is independent of their particular discipline. And usually demos are good, especially if you can see it. If you're going to be a gameplay programmer, then having a portfolio of games that you've written is kind of cool. All right, let's do game state left score. All right, and draw digit at position right. Caps lock right, dims, game state, right score. Good. Good, we've got some scores. They don't look really totally balanced. Maybe I want this to be more like 300. That looks a little bit better. Let's reset the thing and hit space. Good, we basically got sort of some Pong going on here. Good, yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. Oh, I lumped through. Okay, we need to handle that case, and I think then we're going to call it good. Next time we won't have the technical difficulties, so go a little faster. Last question. What's your feeling about C++ compared to, let's say, C#? Is it performance, multi-platform, everything? Everyone uses C++, so I should too type of scenario. I think a lot of good work's being done in C++, and I think that's great. So I give people who work in C# a hard time, but that's just because I'm kind of a jerk. There it is. All right, so let's change the score when the thing goes off. Nice. So if we're less than 0, that means our game state, play state, is now waiting for start. And game state, actually, if game state right score equals 9, let's say it's equal to 8, then it is actually game over. Play state, game over. else game state right score plus plus. Good. And let's just do that for the other one. And if new pause x is greater than, I think it's 1280. We're still in floating point here, so let's do that. And let's do this. And let's do this. Okay, good. And where's the game? Did I quit out of the game again? I did, because I am dumb. All right. So we could do a little bit more to this, but I think basically we've got Pong, and I've been doing that while I've been talking to you. I apologize for the weird DLL issues I had earlier. I haven't done a lot of that stuff. Oh, okay. I've got to reset the ball. Let's go ahead and do that. It's kind of unfair. And no matter what, I really need to do resetting the ball with the game state. Do that here, and let's go ahead and say where was the ball initially, and let's go ahead and do that. And we need to set its position to reset ball, and I think then we will have a completely functional, if not beautiful, version of Pong. Actually, we always want to draw the score. I think we kind of always want to draw the paddles. I'm going to go ahead and do that. We won't update the paddles, but I will yeah, I think I will do that. We'll always draw the paddles. So the thing kind of looks right. Oh, I don't have reset ball yet. Reset ball, I was writing that. Well, I thought I was writing that. No, I put it below. Let's put it up a little bit further. And we are almost done here. I think we're just going to put the ball back where it started. And actually, let's just go ahead and make sure that we're doing that here. And I think we have essentially a functioning Pong at this point. If not beautiful. Let's see, is the game running? No, I stopped the game again. So we're waiting for the space bar. We got the thing coming in. Oh, and he's got the score, so we wait for the space bar. And did I not hit the reset the ball? Game set. Ah. I only want to update the ball. That seems wrong somehow. Oh, I keep quitting out of the game. I do that because the game I'm working on actually is very similar in terms of how I work on it, but I actually end up changing a lot more frequently, and I want to start over, and I have it written reset. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, let's see what happens when I let the ball through. Okay, that's good. All right, yeah, the ball's definitely not in the right place, and it's because oh, it's this thing. That's why. Okay, that should fix the ball. I'll probably have to hit reset. Good. All right. Where are you, ball? All right. Let's try this again. Let the ball go off on this side. Good. Hit the space bar. Oh, and the ball went away again. Why is that? What am I doing here? Reset the ball. Ball position is that. Should only All right, so if it's left, reset the ball, reset the ball. And now am I only updating the ball at the right time? Only update the ball when I play. I draw the paddles, I draw the score. Yeah, It all seemed kind of fine. I don't know what's wrong here. Always rebuild. Maybe that's it. Actually, maybe I'll restart. Just to reset it. If it goes off the edge, I see it there, and then it teleports. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's working. All right. So that looks like that is working. That is Pong. Sorry, it took almost 2 hours. This makes me worry a little bit. Okay, and then I end up, it's just drawing an extra frame. That's totally fine. Okay, good. All right, so there's more you can do with Pong, obviously. You can add the sort of English that you would have. I didn't restrict the paddles, but that is the game. I think I'm going to, yeah, it's not meant to draw there. I don't know why it draws an extra frame. I think there's probably a state issue. Oh yeah, it's because I move it and then I draw it, even though the state has not changed. I should probably do that. I probably only should draw it if I'm actually in, like this. This was the problem. Play state equals playing, like that. Okay, good. Except that I did that Y thing that I always do. Okay, good. Yeah, that should fix the teleporting ball. Like that. Yeah, no teleporting ball anymore. Okay. All right. C++ makes you think more. Performance-wise, can't get better than C++ except assembler, I think. It is true that it doesn't run in a virtual machine, and you compile it down to the metal. But yeah, that is the state of things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to go make some dinner for my son, who plays baseball and is therefore always hungry. I hope this was not too dreadful. Apologizes for the little DLL issues I had. I'll make sure that's fixed for the next stream. I think it's actually working now, so I think I did find it all. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'm going to call it good for the evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Where is OBS? Doo-doo-doo.